Nobody can stop me, nobody can hold me, nobody control me.
Welcome back to the MVP's Lounge. I'm your host, The King, and today we're going to be doing a double drop of NXT. I'm going to review last week's show solo, and then later on tonight, me and Frank are going to give you what happened tonight on NXT. I'm not going to lie to y'all, NXT TNA, that's what we're going to call it. There we go. It's going to be an actual thing. It's coming. Like, we're going to get a whole joint pay-per-view at some point. I don't know when, but I'm really looking forward to whenever they do this full collab. But we've been slowly getting these sprinkles of talent from TNA coming over. It started out with just the women, with just Jordan Grace, but now we're fully getting more people involved. But last week's show, we start out with Ethan Page pulling up, making sure that security's out there so that no riffraff, no other random people pull up on him during his promo. And of course, Oro Mensah shows up to try to attack him, but security escorts him out the arena. In comes Trick Williams to set the record straight. He did not get pinned, and he wouldn't have won without trick knee on Javon Evans and Shawn Spears holding him back. Shawn Spears pulls up next, say, hey, Ethan Page, you wouldn't have won without my assistance of holding Trick back, so thanks are in need for me as well, and he should get his shot at the belt. And then Javon Evans pulls up and is like, hey, he almost had the win, which he did, to be fair. He did almost have a win over him, but Trick pretty much broke up both those pins. All of them get into a brawl, and the tag team match is booked for later. Javon Evans and Trick versus Ethan Page and Shawn Spears. Up next, we get Carmen Petrovich against Ariana Grace. This was pretty much just Carmen getting a quick, easy dub over Ariana Grace. She tried her best, but I mean, she's no match for Carmen. And Jasmine Nix and JC Jane arrive mid-match, looking over the match, and right after the match is over, Fallon Henley pulls up and attacks Carmen. So we've been seeing for the past couple of weeks that Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix and JC Jane have formed a new faction. This is a nasty version of Toxic Attraction if I've ever seen it. But hey, shouts out to their new faction though. We'll see what they do with this going forward, but this might be our new version of Toxic Attraction 2.0. Not a fan of it by any means. We get Lexis King versus Tony D'Angelo for the Heritage Cup. Tony D picks up the first fall. Lexis King gets the second one. And by the end of it, Tony D'Angelo picks up his second fall to retain his Heritage Cup. Just a couple of points on this one. Eddie Thorpe is now a DJ. I don't know what that means. I have no clue what that is. This man went from a Native American to now a DJ. I don't know if they just was just like, hey, bro, we're switching your gimmick because you're just not working. But switching it to this wasn't any help, to be honest with you, because now he's just randomly DJing during random matches. I don't know what's that about. Maybe y'all can explain that to me. But it's kind of weird how this dude just went from here's my tribe and in front of a bonfire and all these things to now I'm DJing. So I don't know. It's personally it's weird. Also, Lexis King, what are we doing with him? Because it feels like we're going in circles with Lexis King. It's like he wins in a feud and he ends up losing in a random match, and then he ends up having another feud and loses it. Like this man's been in a revolving door. I don't know where they're really going with him, but they got to start building some of these guys up because once Trick, Oba, and Evans are like up out of here, even Tony D'Angelo, like once they're gone, your roster is going to be looking real thin. Same with Shawn Spears and Ethan Page, because Shawn Spears is like 43, and Ethan Page is, I think, early 30s. So once these guys are gone, you're gonna have to start having some people ready to take over. And it don't look that way right now. It's not looking too good. Find out what you're doing with Lexus King and get to school quickly. Same thing with Eddie Thorpe. I don't know what this experiment DJ thing is, but find out what you're doing with that. So Brooks Jensen, who's been pretty much entangles with the cops and trying to enter the building illegally, finally gets some, redemption. He gets to talk with Ava, and Ava says she's going to reinstate him and everything. So that's good for him. But immediately after getting reinstated, he pulls up on Javon Evans backstage and stomps him out. And then Briggs pulls up and that's what the hell he's doing. He's like, "Hey, bro, I'm trying to make a name for myself. You told him to do this, to make a name for himself and stand out. And this is his way of doing it." So Evans is now hurt. Who the hell is going to be Trick's partner for later on tonight? I'm not going to lie to you. You should already know who it's going to be because they've been teasing it the whole night. The entire night they've been teasing it. Gallus boys beat the two dudes who are backed up and got Tim's on. I listen, we still haven't learned their names yet. And by we I mean me. I'll learn their names eventually. I'll probably look it up. But as of right now, they're just two backed up black dudes with Tim's. But Gallus boys beat them with the assistance of Joe Coffey. So shouts out to the Gallus boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Joe Coffey and Gallus, they always look great. With the exception of Joe's last match with Wesley. But they've been looking great so far. We need to let's put some investment in them as well. If you're not gonna put any investment with them, set them to the main roster and they can be used over on SmackDown. Trick says he needs a partner for tonight. Still doesn't know who the hell it's gonna be. Again, we've been teasing. We've been teasing at Joe Hendry this whole night. Okay, via Twitter, via the crowd, via the people, via the rest of the wrestlers in the back making references to his music, even commentary. Wesley says he was going to address his situation after losing to Obafemi. And the way it sounds like, it seemed like Wesley was going to end up leaving NXT or probably even leaving wrestling. But he is saved by his returning Rascal brothers. The Rascals and MSK are back. We already knew the situation we had with Zachary Wentz before when he had to be released due to some allegations. But he was able to find home back in TNA. And now with this new merger we got going on, he was able to come back to NXT after 2 years. And the Rascals were able to form back after 4 years fully. So, hey, I said it before in the review that Wesley should either leave NXT or go back into a tag team role. And hey, they found a tag team role for him. If the Rascals are back together, I'm all for it. We get Thea Hale versus Izzy Dame. Tatum Paxley pulls up to distract her, and Izzy Dame pretty much gets caught lacking with the what are we calling that again? Wow, my brain completely forgot what the hell her finisher is. The Kimura lock. Yes, she injures the arm and then goes for the Kimura lock, and Thea Hale gets the W. And right as Chase was celebrating, Obafemi pulls up to the scaffolding on top near the corner of the building and calls out Duke Hudson and tells him that their match next week for the North American Championship will be swift and easy. And he's going to suffer the same fate as everybody else. But Duke Hudson, yeah, man, listen, Duke's been lit. Duke's been the MVP of this group. Like, literally and figuratively. Like, he's carrying Chase U on his back. And I think he's going to really give Obafemi a run for his money next week. Or I guess today, really. He's still going to lose. Like, don't get me wrong. Like it's going to be a great match. They're going to do fantastic. But, like, he's still losing to Obafemi. Like, 1,000%. But yeah, like shouts out to Chase U and Thea Hill getting the W. But Duke next week, you still holding as hell. All right, just letting you know. It gets booked for next week. We're gonna get Brooks Jensen versus Javon Evans if he is cleared to wrestle. Briggs also asks Ava, can he get Sean Spears in the match? Ava said, all right, fine, you can get him, but as long as you do not interfere in tonight's match where Sean Spears is wrestling. So Briggs seems like he's gonna hold back and not do anything. So good on him for that. MSK or the Rascals are going backstage reminiscing, and they get pulled up on by Gallus. And they say the more things change, the more they say the same up here in NXT. And we get a match next week, or again tonight, to be booked. It's going to be Gallus versus the returning Rascals back together after 4 years. So 6-man tag match coming for next NXT. We get Out the Mud, my guys. These my homies, bro. Listen, once they get their fits together, we start getting their in-ring work just up a little bit, we got something. But for right now, they feel still disgusting, and their in-ring work still needs just a smidgen of work. But Out the Mud against Gallows and Anderson, and Jada and Mia Yim pretty much get into a brawl on the outside, and they get removed by the referees. But Out the Mud secured a W, bro. No cheating involved, no nothing. They secured a W over Gallows and Anderson. It was a big win for them. Okay. I think going forward, we need to, again, update their fits and get something going for them, because they're really good, both of them. They're real good. They just need to get the aesthetic look added and all that. No Quarter Catch Crew, finally got the name correct. They're seen throwing somebody in a trunk and getting rid of the body, and that body just so happens to be Damon Kemp, because he's been released by WWE. So they're like, hey, what better way to get rid of Damon Kemp officially than by killing him off and throwing him in the trunk? I'm fine with it. I hated Damon Kemp anyway, so hey, I'm cool with them killing him off. Sol Ruka versus Fallon Henley. Sol Ruka had the match won, hit her soul snatcher on Fallon Henley, but then Jasmine Nix and JC Jane pull up to stomp her out, causing a disqualification. And yeah, it's now official now. Fallon and Jasmine and JC, they're the new three amigas running NXT with attacks. We already got Damage Control and Sonya Deville and Zoe and Shayna over there on Raw, and now we got Piper Nevin and Chelsea Green and whoever they got over there on SmackDown, and now you got JC Jane and Jasmine Nix, Fallon Henley on NXT. We just got a women's faction everywhere we go. I'm with it though. I'm with it. So they're just telling us about some new signees that we got. Pretty much Robert Stone and Stevie are pretty much signing new people to impress Ava, and they brought down Cedric and Ashanti the Adonis, so they're not part of NXT. So after they get signed to NXT, we now have the promos for next week: Rascals versus Gallus, Obafemi versus Duke, and then we get to the main event tonight: All Ego Ethan Page and Sean Spears versus Trick and whoever's going to be his surprise tag team partner. Well, his tag team partner is none other than Joe Hendry. That's right. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Well, Book did not. Book was not believing at all. Well, he'll soon believe by the end of this match, because right after All Ego Ethan Page is ran off out of the arena by Oro, who pulled back up to attack him, Sean Spears was left alone, got caught with the trick knee, thrown back into the ring, and Joe Hendry finished Sean Spears with a big choke slam. Very unexpected move from him. It's my first time actually seeing him wrestle, and I was not expecting to see a choke slam happen, but hey, Joe Hendry's over as hell, bro. As much as people don't, there's some people out there that might not be a fan, but the world believes in Joe Hendry. And he said he will be any place, anywhere, anytime they need him. So I'm fully expecting Joe Hendry to get this NXT, maybe even main roster, Raw, SmackDown push at some point, whenever it happens. Because my guy is over as hell right now. But Joe Hendry and Trick get the W, and then they celebrate after. And that, my friends, was NXT. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know what you think about it. I personally enjoyed it. I always enjoy NXT. It's always been great to me, honestly. Shawn Michaels has been improving the roster and improving the show these past, I would say, 2 years since he's taken back over now. But yeah, it's been great. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, as always. I'll see you later on for NXT again for another review on top of that, but joined by Frank this time. But till then, thank you for joining me today in the MVP's Lounge. The MVPs are out.
Ducky, quack, quack. What? Yeah. I like it. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, man.
You must be sleeping under a rock or something.